Hello and welcome. You know, we see them in our backyards, we hear them on a warm summer night, but there is a secret world to amphibians that goes way, way beyond what we think we know. So let's dive into this hidden world together.
So let's start with a question you've probably asked a million times. What is the actual difference between a frog and a toad? Is it the bumps, the color, where they hang out? It's one of those things that feels like we should know, but the answer, well, it's a little more complicated than you might think.
Because figuring out that whole frog versus toad puzzle, that's really just our ticket in. In this explainer, we're going to uncover some of nature's most incredible stories. We're talking about an animal that completely rebuilds its body from the inside out, and mating rituals that are frankly stranger than fiction.
So, to really get it, we have to start at the very beginning. What does it actually mean to be an amphibian? What's the secret to their identity? Well, the secret is hiding right there in the name. It's from the Greek for two lives. And that's not just some poetic description, you guys. It's their entire biological blueprint. They are the only vertebrates on the entire planet that go through this radical transformation, a complete reinvention of self, starting life as an aquatic creature and then re-emerging as something totally built for land.
And their whole existence is defined by their skin. You should think of it like a high-tech, all-in-one bodysuit. It's got no scales, no feathers, no fur. It's permeable, which means they can literally breathe and drink right through it. But, and this is a huge but, this superpower is also their greatest weakness. It means they can dry out incredibly fast, which is why that connection to water is absolutely non-negotiable.
Okay, so let's circle back and finally settle that great backyard debate. Frog or toad? What's the deal?
So here's the thing. All toads are technically a type of frog, but there are some classic signs you can look for to tell them apart. Generally speaking, frogs have that smooth, moist skin we all picture, while toads are the ones with the rougher, bumpier skin. Frogs tend to lay their eggs in big clumps, while toads lay them in these long, elegant strings. And get this, their defense strategies are totally different. A frog relies on speed and agility to just get out of there, but a toad, it's got a secret weapon. Those big glands behind its eyes can ooze a nasty toxin to convince a predator to find an easier meal.
All right. Now let's go back to that idea of two lives and look at what is truly one of the most dramatic transformations in the entire animal kingdom, metamorphosis. This journey is just extraordinary. I mean, it starts as this little jelly-like egg. Then it hatches into a tadpole, a full-on aquatic plant-eating creature with gills and a tail swimming around. But then, as a froglet, a complete remodel begins. Tiny legs start to sprout, powerful lungs begin to form inside, and that tadpole tail, it gets absorbed back into the body for energy. And finally, it emerges as a totally new creature, an air-breathing, insect-eating adult. And I want you to really appreciate this. We are not just talking about growing legs. This is a complete biological overhaul from the inside out. Its diet switches from plants to insects, which needs a whole new digestive system. It goes from breathing with gills to using lungs, its skin, and even the lining of its mouth. Its entire skeleton hardens from soft cartilage into solid bone. It's kind of like changing the engine, the fuel, and the entire chassis of a car while it's still driving down the road. It's absolutely wild.
Okay, so now that we have a fully transformed adult frog, things get even more interesting because their love lives are just full of drama, complex communication, and some of the most bizarre courtship strategies you could possibly imagine.
You know that croak you hear at night? That isn't just one sound, it's a whole language. The one we hear most often is the mating call, a male's unique song to attract a female. But there's also a deep, throaty, territorial call, which basically means, back off, buddy, this is my spot. Then there's a release call, which is a male saying, get off me, if another male accidentally grabs him in a mating frenzy. And then there's the distress call, a piercing scream designed to startle a predator into letting it go.
So how on earth do they get so loud? Well, they have a built-in megaphone. See, they don't actually exhale air to make the sound. Instead, they pass it back and forth between their lungs and a vocal sac under their throat. That sac blows up like a balloon and acts as a resonance chamber, amplifying the sound to incredible volumes. It's genius!
Now, once a male's call actually works, the mating process begins. It's called amplexus, and the most common version you'll see is the axillary clasp, where the male holds on super tight right behind the female's front legs, kind of like her armpits.
But of course, not everyone does it that way. Some species use what's called an inguinoclasp. So here, the male grabs the female around her waist, just in front of her powerful hind legs. It's just a slight change, but it's perfectly adapted for a different body shape.
And then there's this, which is just on another level. The male rain frog is tiny, and the female is big and round, so he just can't get a grip. So what's their solution? The female secretes a powerful sticky glue from her back that literally cements the male in place. He's stuck there until she lays her eggs, and after that, she has to secrete a solvent to set him free. Now that is commitment.
So, beyond their, let's call them dramatic love lives, amphibians are true masters of survival. They're armed with this ingenious toolkit for thriving in what is a very, very dangerous world. Color is one of their most powerful tools, and they use it in two completely opposite ways. Lots of them use cryptic coloration, basically camouflage, to just blend in and become invisible. But others, like this toxic banded rubber frog, do the exact opposite. They use bright, bold, in-your-face colors to advertise their poison. It's a clear warning that says, go ahead, eat me, you will regret it.
And since their skin makes them so vulnerable to drying out, they have developed some truly incredible ways to beat the heat. Some species will actually bury themselves underground during a drought and form a cocoon out of their own shed skin just to lock in moisture. Others conserve water by excreting solid uric acid instead of liquid urine, saving every single precious drop.
And let's not forget their raw athletic ability. Get this, the world record for a sharp-nosed frog is an incredible 10.3 meters, covered in just 3 jumps. To put that into perspective for you, that is the length of a school bus, an incredible feat of explosive power.
So, when you put it all together, from building foam nests up in trees to stay moist, to creating cocoons out of their own skin to survive a drought, it's just so clear that amphibians are some of the most adaptable and inventive survivors on our entire planet.
You see, they are so much more than just background noise. They are living out these epic stories of transformation, romance, and survival all around us every single day. So the next time you hear that familiar croak in the night, what secret will you be listening for? A love song? A territorial warning? Or maybe just the sound of a truly incredible double life?